Hi, everyone. Welcome to Smart Dinero for Inversionistas. This is brought to you by Intuit, TurboTax, and We'll Grow Latina. I am joined today with Lisa Green Lewis, who is a CPA and tax expert with TurboTax. And we're going to talk about investing as entrepreneurs and how to maximize your dollars. Thank you so much for joining us, Lisa. Welcome.
Thank you for having me.
So I started investing when I was 19 years old. And let me tell you, I absolutely had no clue what I was doing, as you can imagine, right? One thing I absolutely had no idea about was capital gains tax. Capital gain tax is a tax on the profit realized on a sale of an asset held as an investment. The most common capital gains are realized from the sale of stocks, bonds, precious metals, real estate, and property. Lisa, share with us your experience with capital gains. Tell us a little bit about it.
My early investing experiences, I didn't do very well. I bought at the wrong times and sold at the wrong times, and I did have some losses. I just started over and learned from that experience. You want to research your investments, really pay attention to what's going on with the companies you're investing in. Try to get in at the right time, pay attention to the markets. And then that's where you have those gains. Your gains on your sales, they're calculated by you take the cost of what you bought the asset at, and then minus your sale. And that's where you come up with the gain when you file your taxes.
Yeah, I mean, we definitely don't want to have losses, but sometimes that does happen, right? A free resource like the TurboTax calculator is such a great thing. I've been using it nonstop. And overall, that educational part as entrepreneurs and as women who have side hustles and are creating amazing things, it's really important to just be constantly looking out for things, right? And learning a little bit more. And like you said, if you're investing into something, understand what you're investing in.
Right. And like you said, the capital gains calculator, it's a really great tool. It's a free tool, but it can also help you with planning. It can help you figure out, do I want to sell this asset right now, or do I want to wait until after a year, and you can really compare what your taxes are going to be.
Yeah, and this is something that you also learn along the way. So even if all of that we said sounded really foreign, don't worry, just replay this video, play it back and listen to it again, because it takes a little bit of getting used to, but soon enough you'll be an inversionista that knows exactly what they're doing with their capital gains, or in some situations, losses, right? Make them work for you. When we think about investing for retirement, there is so much benefit to it, especially from a tax perspective. I, for example, have a sister who started investing recently, and she was ready to do her taxes and all her paperwork, cool, but she worked for herself, so she had a lot of 1099 and things like that. Tell us a little bit about what that looks like and how people can really maximize and use retirement accounts to save on taxes, whether it be in the current year or in the future when they're actually retired.
If you contribute to your IRA, you can lower your tax, the taxes that you have to pay. And so you can contribute all the way up to the tax deadline, but make an impact on the taxes that you're about to file. For tax year 2021, you can contribute up to $6,000, and then it's up to $7,000 if you're 50 or older. So, you're able to lower the taxes that you pay, but also one other aspect of it that I was going to bring up, there is a credit that you can get called the Savers Credit. It's a little unknown credit that you get automatically for investing in your retirement. And this credit can be up to $2,000 if you're married filing jointly, or $1,000 if you are single. So that's another benefit as well.
I love that. I hope you all wrote that down to make sure to get all of those credits, because that is the whole point of Lisa being here and us talking about this, because we want to save as much as possible. We want to, of course, pay the taxes that are due, but we want to also use the tax laws to our benefit so that we're putting money in places that can benefit us at the end. Now let's talk a little bit about crypto. So I would love for you to share a little bit about how crypto affects your taxes. What are the things that you have to keep in mind? What are some tips that you can share with people if they're buying cryptos or if they're buying NFTs, for example, with their crypto?
Yeah, so when you sell crypto, you do have a transaction that's taxable. A lot of people are confused now that crypto is so new. They don't know when they're taxed, and it's only when you have a transaction, like a sales transaction. Some people now are being paid in crypto, whether they're a self-employed contractor or even a W-2 employee. So you think about it the way you're regularly paid. If you're paid in crypto and you're self-employed as a contractor, it'll be reported on a 1099 NEC. And if you're a W-2 employee, it will appear in your income on your W-2. And then when you sell the crypto, you will also have gains or losses on that sale. Cryptocurrency calculator, it's a free tool that we have. In one screen, you can get an idea of how much your taxes will be if you've sold your cryptocurrency, or you can use it as a planning tool if you're considering selling. I know we talked about stocks and the capital gains calculator. So it's very similar in that you can plan and you can look at what your tax situation would be if you held it longer than a year or under a year.
Thank you so much, Lisa, for sharing all of those tips. I am now going to share all of the key takeaways. When investing, keep capital gain taxes in mind. There are short-term and long-term taxes, so plan accordingly. You can contribute to your IRA through tax day. The limit for 2021 is $6,000 and $7,000 if you're over 50. When investing in crypto, also keep those gains and taxes in mind. When you use TurboTax, you can import over 4,000 crypto transactions. Lisa, thank you so much for joining us. This was so insightful, and I hope everyone got really great tips on what they can do in terms of managing their investments, their entrepreneurship goals, and also their taxes, of course. Thank you so much again, and thank you to the Intuit TurboTax family, as well as our We All Grow Latina family. Remember, amigas, let's keep learning, let's keep investing, let's keep growing. Have a great day, everyone. Bye.
Bye.